Hey everyone, Chef Peppy Joe coming to you from Peppy Joe's Barbecue. About 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I got a caulking gun type injector off of Amazon. Now, I didn't really pay a lot for it. It was only like 40 bucks or so, 50 bucks. And while it worked, it didn't work all that great. It actually fell apart on me while I was using it. I had to hurry up and grab a screwdriver to tighten the screw on the handle. So I decided to bite the bullet and invest in a better system. You know, it's true what they say, you get what you pay for. So I decided to look into this system, SpitJack. Now I got the Magnum system. SpitJack is made in the USA. It is sturdy, it is robust, and it works amazingly great. It has, I'll just go over a few of the parts here. On the other one, this screw right here, when I was using the other one, it actually came out of the handle, and the handle fell apart on me. This system here has parts available on their website. So like inside here, this trigger, you can buy replacement for. You can buy replacement for the O-rings. You can buy replacement for the plunger. This set screw that's in the back here, you can buy replacement for. The needles, the brushes. Here's the cylinder, the syringe part of it, where you draw up the liquid. There's 4 needles. There's a real small one. Okay. There's 2 larger bore needles. Now this one's for like if you're doing, you know, something that has some chunks in it like garlic or spices or whatever. There's the next size down, still a pretty good size bore needle. And then there's a multi-hold needle. It's still pretty good size bore. Now the little one is the one I'll be using today. You can get these O-rings off the website too, and it does come with spare O-rings, brush, cleaning brushes, and whatnot. And then today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a injected spatchcock chicken. Now spatchcock is just another term, fancy term for butterfly. It just, what you're doing is you're cutting out the spine of the chicken and laying it flat open. So earlier I made an injection. Now in this injection is some chicken bouillon. It's actually Sam's Club. It's nothing really special. It's 3 cups of water. There's Malcolm's How to Barbecue Right barbecue rub. There's 3 tablespoons of that. And then there's also some powdered butter in there. After I got it all mixed, I strained it out with a fine mesh strainer so none of the chunks that are in that rub get pulled up into the needle and clog the needle. So after it was mixed and after it was made, I strained it out. So now we're going to get into doing the actual cutting of the chicken and the injection. So one thing I want to touch base on with this injector is, if you can see right here, this is an adjustable dial, and what this does is it allows you to dial in the amount that you push through the cylinder, through the tube, into the meat. So there's a couple different settings here. Now I'm going to go full bore and push in as much as I can. In this here, this red O-ring, you want to take a little bit of like olive oil or grapeseed oil or something neutral, and just rub your finger around that O-ring on this plunger, because what happens is it allows it to glide through this plastic much easier without any needed or friction. And then as you squeeze, it's like using a caulking gun. As you squeeze the trigger here, the plunger advances and pushes your injection into the needle and then into the meat. And it's just a simple, when you put it into the liquid, like here, I'll just give this a little stir. And when you put it into the liquid and withdraw it, see, it just draws the liquid up into the barrel of the syringe. Now I'm going to set this aside because I want to get into the actual cutting, the actual spatchcocking of this chicken. Now, how this works is you want to have this chicken or turkey on, you want the back side, the spine, which is right here. It runs, there's two little grooves, one on each side. You're going to take that out, and you want this back facing you so that you can take your knife and cut along this groove. It's easy if you feel it with your fingers first, so you know where you're at. So you just want to take your knife and you're just going to go down along that groove, along that spine groove, and cut that spine out. Now, if you want to save this spine, that's up to you. You can save it and put it in a pot with some water and cook it down for chicken stock or bone broth. The choice is up to you. Now, with that being cut, we're going to cut with our scissors this spine and cut through the ribs. We're going to cut this out. So we're going to spin this 180 degrees and put the legs away from us, the wings toward us. We're going to go into this cavity, open it up, and just cut that spine away from the chicken. Now sometimes, you get some bones that are a little tough, so you got to put a little muscle in behind it to to get that out of there. Turkey's even worse. Turkey's even thicker. So once you once you get that cut, sometimes it you got to put a little, put a oomph behind it, a little muscle. Okay, so we got the spine out. That's all it is. Just there's the vertebrae and the thoracic part of the thoracic, where it wraps around from the front. But there's the spine. And here's the open part of the chicken. Now, in the front of the chicken, where the basically where the front of the collarbone is on the chicken, right here, you want to take your knife and you just want to nick that right in the center. And what that does is that puts a little nick in the cartilage bone, so that when you go to flatten this out into the spatchcock, into the butterfly, there isn't as much resistance to opening this up. So all you're going to do is, after you get that nicked, you're going to flip this over with the breast meat, the breast sticking up, and then just take your thumbs and you're going to push. As you're pushing, you're going to flex up and crack that sternal bone so it lays flat, just like that. Okay. If the legs are turned in, turn them out like that. Now you can elect, if you want, you can take your scissors and you can cut these wing tips here off and put them with your neck, or with your bone in your stock, or if you so desire, you can tuck them underneath the front, like so, underneath the breast. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. I leave them on because it doesn't bother me. But now that we've got that done, the next step that we're going to do is inject. Now, how you want to do this is, when you inject, you want to inject up the side of the leg bone on both sides, so you can get it up, so you can get it over on this side and this side into the thigh meat. Okay, both sides. And then when you do the breast, you're going to do it under the front of the breast meat, so you're not poking through the surface of the skin. When you poke through the surface of the skin, what happens is the injection oozes out of that injection hole. So here's the injector, and we're going to go right up into the leg, just like that. Push a couple times. Okay. Same thing here, right up the inside of the leg. Push a couple times. Now this side, we're going to go the opposite way and push up like this a couple times. Get into that cartilage. Okay, a couple times. We're in. Now, on the thigh side, right here on this bone, right here, we're going to put the needle in on this, so we get this pocket here. So let's turn this around and get some more liquid. We're under the skin, under the bone, into the meat. A couple times. Move it around. Get a different spot. Okay. Same thing with this side. Under the skin, under the bone, into the thigh meat. Some more liquid. And you want to keep doing this like this throughout the whole chicken. You get under the skin, into the meat, into the breast. Couple there. Couple there. You'll see the meat as you inject this. You'll see the meat kind of plump up a little bit. It's kind of neat. You can feel it under your fingers as it's injecting. Flop the wings out so you can get the needle into that area there. And you're going to go at an angle into the wing meat alongside the bone, just like that. Give some more of the breast meat here. Now what this is doing is, as this cooks, this injection is going to cook into the meat, and you're going to have a nice flavorful chicken, smoked chicken. Okay, we got that pumped up pretty good. And you'll see on the board here some of the liquid seeping out. That's normal. It's just coming out, it's coming out the joints and stuff. But once you get it all in there, give it a good little rub, a little bit of massage. Sometimes you need to trim off some extra skin along the bird, which is normal. Now once we get that done, the next step you're going to do is season it on the outside and inside. Well, you already got the inside injected, but now you're going to season the exterior. So that's the next step. Alright, now that we have it injected, we've got it on our grate to be put out on the smoker. And we'll get it all situated here the way it needs to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put underneath the skin here, underneath the front of the breast, I'm going to lift this up and kind of separate it with my fingers, and underneath here I'm going to put cubes of butter. Just regular salted. You can use unsalted if you want. Butter. You don't want to make a huge hole. Just enough to slide that butter in. 3 on each side. One, two, and 3. Then, once you get that in there, like that, we're going to come back through and we're going to add our seasoning. Take these gloves off. Now this, I'm using 2 seasonings here. This seasoning here is a local company named Con Jaeger. You can find them online. You can buy this online. This just happens to be stocked at my regular store. I've been buying this quite a while. My dad was a professional butcher, and when he was in the business, Con Jaeger was his supplier for when he made sausages and stuff. So they've been around for a very, very long time. But I'm going to start out with the base of this, and then I'm going to go back over and use this. I just got this. It's not bad. It does have some good flavor to it, but it needs help. So I'm going to use this as my top, and this is my base. So the base, you just want to, go over it, give it a good healthy coating. Move the wings out, get under those wings. Same with the legs. Now we're going to come back through and do the same with the other rub. Put this on pretty good. You don't need any oils or any binders or anything like that. It'll stick. Just pat it down. The moisture on the skin will allow it to stick. The salt that's in the rubs will draw the moisture out and allow it to stick. Now once you get that part done, we're going to flip it over and do the underside. I'm going to do the carcass side. You might say to yourself, well, why is he doing that? Well, because of the reverse osmosis that works with the salts that are in the rub. As the salts withdraw the moisture it draws it back in. So as it's drawing that moisture out, it's all seasoned, it's all flavored, and it's drawing it back in. So you're doing your injection that you made. You're giving basically a helping hand. And once you get it all seasoned up, like so, like I said, you don't need anything special. It's just pat it on there. It'll stick. The moisture will make it stick. And once you get that on there and get it all seasoned up, like so, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your wire. You're going to put your meat probe in. Now you're going to use a grill probe and a wireless probe. Now my wireless probes are by ThermoMaven, so that's the system that I use. And then we'll get this out on the smoker. Okay, now as you can see, look real close, here and here and right here on this breastbone area, the rub, the seasonings are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're pulling the moisture out. This area right here is wet, so they're pulling the moisture out. It's seasoning it, and as it's seasoning it, it's going to start pulling it back down into the skin and into the meat. Here is my ThermoMaven system. There's two probes. Okay, it works off of an app that's on the phone. And here is the phone interface. Now, this is a 2-probe system, and they also have a 4-probe system. Now, I have both probes, and I have probe 1, which is here, and probe 2. Here's probe 2, here's probe 1. I have probe 1 set for 160. I have probe 2 set for 165. So I'm going to put probe 1 up here into the breast meat, and then I'm going to put probe 2 back here into this thigh area. And then I'm also going to put my grill probe in on this side of the breast. Now I want to stay in the middle. I don't want to hit the bone, and I want to stay underneath of this butter that I put in here, because it will affect the temp. So we're going to put this probe in. Now the way these probes work, this whole thing, this whole shaft is not does not read temperature. The only part that reads the temperature is this part right here, about the first 3/4 to an inch of the probe. So right about there's where the reading stops. So you don't want to have to put this the whole way in. You just want to kind of measure where you want your temp to be. So I'm going to say I want my temp reading to be right here in the middle. Just lay that on there, kind of gauge it with your thumb a little bit, and then put it in that area, just up to where you kind of measured. All right, just like that. That's all you need. Then the other probe, the wireless probe, these have a guide on them. This ring right here, this ring. This is where you insert it to. You stop right there. There's 5 sensors in this area, and there's 1 out here. So we put that in there, just like that, up to that black mark. And the same with number 2. The only difference is we're putting that one back here. Like I said, you don't want to hit a bone like I just did right there. So you got to kind of want to feel your way through there, so you're not hitting any bones. There. That's good. Now, the temperature that's reading, the number 1 probe is reading 57, which is up in the breast area, and the number 2 probe is reading 58. Now, how this works is the temps on the app show different because the base rounds up the temp. So this is showing 57, 57. On the app, it's showing 56.7 and 57.3. Okay, so it rounds up or down to the nearest decimal point there. So don't get worried about that. It's normal. That's how it works. So they're both reading the same temp. Okay. And now we're going to get this out on our smoker. And we're going to set the smoker. I'm using a Zgrill 1100 2B. It's a Wi-Fi smoker. It's the biggest one they make. And it's one of the only 2 that has super smoke function. The other one that has a super smoke function is the 705 2B, which is just a little bit smaller than the 1100. They're both built the same way. So we're going to get this out on the smoker and start it out on super smoke until this temp reaches 70 to 75 degrees on super smoke. Then we'll raise it up to 325 and finish it off until these probes hit 160 and 165. Okay, so you can see that the smoker's running in super smoke mode at 160. And we got it on. The grill probe is reading 55, 57, and there it is on the smoker. Like I said, we'll let this run in super smoke until that comes up to temp, and then we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, now that we've hit the target temp right here, we went ahead and raised our smoker temp to 325. It's still running in super smoke mode. Well, it was in super smoke mode, but with the app, the way the controller works is if you raise the temp on the app, the super smoke mode will attach itself to the higher temp. So now we're running at 325 with super smoke mode activated, and we'll let it go until it hits 160, 165. Okay, we are at 137 on this chicken. Now let's get a look at it. Oh, that's a beautiful looking bird. You hear it sizzling. Almost done. Okay, there we are. We are at 161, and it is time to pull this off and let it set, because our carryover temp is going to give us 165, as it should be. And let's just get a real quick 165, 164.8, round that up, 165. Carryover will give us 160 to 165. We're looking good. We are done. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, as Guy Fieri would say. And there it is. Off the smoker and ready to be cut. Looks so good. So I just took the leg quarters off, and here's the wing pieces. Now I want you to get a look at the moisture and the juice that's on that board. This is what happens, this is what you achieve when you inject and put the butter in there like I did. Doesn't get any juicier than that, folks. So until the next time, it's Peppy Joe coming at you. Talk to you later.